Arithmetic sequences as linear functions, right? That's what that is a set of numbers where the difference between successive terms is constant. It constantly changes, okay? The common difference, okay, we label that as D, and it's the difference between two terms. So when you subtract those two, right, you get a difference, the answer to that, right? And if in a sequence, it's constant. That difference doesn't change. All right, so let's look at the sequence 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. What is the D here? How much is this changing? 2. It's changing by 2. So if we were to take 5 minus 3, it would be 2. 7 minus 5 is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2. So the difference, okay, the common difference, D, is 2. That's how much it's changing by every time. That is constant. It does not change. 33, 29, 25, how much is it changing by? By 4, okay? It's negative 4. Because you always take the second number minus the first number. What is 39 minus 24? Or 29 minus 34? Negative 4. Okay, so my difference here is negative 4. It changes by 4 every time. Alright, this is what you need to write down. Right? You need to lay it out the way it is on the board. Okay, because we're going to fill out, it's kind of like a table. We're going to fill it out. Alright, we're going to fill this chart out. It's going to help you when you're trying to do this later on. Okay, identifying arithmetic sequences. Right? For the first term, we're going to call that A1. That's what we represent A1 in. In terms of A1 and D, it's just A1 because it's the original. That number, A1, is 8. Okay? Also, I forgot to mention that D is going to be 3. Okay? The second term, we're going to label that as A2. In terms of A1 and D, right, we would write that as A1 plus D. Because A2 is the first number plus D, right? Which the first number is 8 plus 1 times 3, which is 11. And you'll see why it's 1 times 3 in a second. The third term, we're going to call that A3. In terms of A1, and D, it's A1 plus 2D. And that's 8 plus 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. Okay, we're going in a sequence. We start at 8. We're adding 3 to each one. Okay, I know it seems like a lot of work, but it's going to help you later on. Because later we'll identify we can identify any number in the sequence. The fourth term, anyone have a guess what the symbol is going to be for it? A4. In terms of A1 and D, what's it going to be?
A1 plus 3D.
A1 plus 3D. Okay, which is 8 plus 3 times 3, which is 17. Now, okay, this chart continues on in the book, but we're going to stop here. Okay, and go all the way to the nth term, meaning it could be 9th, it could be 15th, n could be any number. Okay, if I want to identify it in a sequence, okay, then I change into whatever I want. All right, AN is the symbol we use for the nth term. In terms of A1 and D, it's the first number plus n minus 1 times D. So if you wanted to figure it out, you would take 8 plus n minus 1 times it by 3. Because let's think about it. For the fourth term, what did we times D by? We times it by 3, didn't we? Okay. For the third term, we times it by what? 2. For the second term, we times it by what? 1. So everybody see why we do n minus 1? So if I wanted to find the 15th term, what would I times D by?
14.
14. Everybody get it? Okay. All right. So if you didn't write this, go ahead and make sure you have this. Okay. To find AN, we just take A1 plus N minus 1 times D. That's to find any number in that sequence. Okay. All right. So they give us a sequence here. -12, -8, -4, 0, and on. I need to find the nth term. So I need to figure out what do I need to do? Remember what AN is? It's A1 plus N minus 1 times D. Okay, what's my A1 here? -12, that's our starting number. That's where we start out with. And we add that to N minus 1. What's my D? Do we know? Okay, it is 4. If you're not for sure, take the second number minus the first number, the difference of those. What's -8 minus -12? What's -8 plus 12? 4. Okay, each one of these is changing by 4. Okay, so this is how you find the nth term. Okay, A1, which is -12, plus N minus 1 times 4. Then it might ask you, find the 12th term. So plug 12 in for N. Alright, this is your homework. Okay, some of these problems will say graph the first 5 terms. I don't want you to do that. Okay, I don't need you to graph the sequence. What I want you to do instead is find the 9th term. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to figure out what A to the N is, that formula. Okay, and then you're going to have to plug 9 in for N and figure out what the 9th term of each sequence is. Okay, so if it asks you to graph the first 5 terms, instead find the 9th term. Okay, everybody handle that?